Okay, it looks like my stream is live for like attempt number 3 or fucking ass 4 of this fucking bullshit. Fucking first time I have a typical stream problem, like the first half hour, of course. Second time, apparently Sony updated fucking terms of service, and when I fucking go into online session, it fucking forces me to fucking accept some new terms. And it kicks me off my fucking live stream, apparently, too. Because streaming has been offline at that point, suddenly. Third time, the stream doesn't even fucking show up. You know, this time, my trophies don't fucking supposedly quote unquote like load or something, but every other part of the fucking interface fucking does. So I don't even know what the fuck be going on any fucking more. Like, God, I can't just fucking slap the shit in front of my face when I first got on the console. I have to wait till I fucking try to get into online lobby to even do that fucking bullshit. Utterly annoying and ridiculous bullshit, though, I fucking swear. Fucking kicked me off a live stream over some updated terms of service. Did my first take at like fucking in the morning today on fucking last day of Wednesday. And then I just hop on later and it forces terms of service on my ass randomly. Utter fucking communistic fascist garbage from Sony, of course. Of course, I fucking got him, fucking, of course. Better have a flawless run this fucking time. I don't have the time for this bullshit anymore. But hello. It's a sinister fucking campaign here with a new fucking stream. And in this fucking stream, I'm gonna be going over the week 19 editions for Grand Theft Auto Online. Last time I did week number editions was like 2 weeks ago. It was week 17 editions. I'm pretty sure it's week 19 editions. It's put in the title of like Stoner Survival being the main huge thing of it. But yeah, I am streaming this on last day Wednesday because they actually decided to share the like discounts for the following week. So because of that, I don't know if I'll go over too much details on my opportunities discounts compared to some other event like stream things or whatever. But yeah, new Stoner Survival. Get 4 times rewards on new Stoner Survival. Keep an eye out for the survival blip appearing at 4:20 p.m. For those that don't understand the 24-hour clock or something, for some reason it's actually 16:20 on the phone. Since it's a PM, not the AM. So on the phone it's not going to say 4:20, it's going to say like 16:20. Just be aware of that, of course. For like the 24-hour clock it has or whatever. Every day in the Los Santos. On the bottom left it says select to join free mode, makes sense. But I think I saw it pays like $168,000 to Gilly Master's video on the like survival I watched 4 to 4 times, which I think is only active for the first of the 2 420 events. That ends like really soon as of when I'm recording this actually. Apparently normally pays like 42k, which isn't really all that crazy. It's like a 7 wave survival apparently as well. So it's smaller than even the initial 10 waves you should get on like the usual survivals that don't even have the endless wave options, even for example. It looks like some blip on the map will appear. I think it's not like some Sandy Shores trailer park or something if I remember correctly. So it seems there might be a labeled blip at the times as well. But either way, just go to like some Sandy Shore like trailer park. Might be the same trailer park that like Omega resides in story mode, I think. Better check my stream here because there's some bullshit anymore, of course. Looks fine though. Cool, cool. And 3 times rewards for Los Santos Drug Wars. This in particular is actually 3 times money in RP in the first and the last dose missions. Yeah, first and the last dose, I think actually, ironically, compared to some other like newer contact missions there have been ones before, don't have like the updated payout structures. They don't pay as much as those ones, I think. Like, I think dispatch services, for example, like Martin Madrazo's dispatch services, Free Indux, Motorsport, like the Repo Works, whatever from Simeon, Gerald's Last Plays, etc. Like, I think those, for example, some of those newer ones got some payout boosts, along with many other ones I'm not going to mention here, obviously. I think in the last couple of years, I've had some payout boosts over years, but not the first dose and the last dose, if I remember in particular. I'm guessing that probably has to do with the fact you can get the free Brigade 6x6 for the first dose, instead of having to spend on the vehicle in like Warstock Cash and Carry. And I think last dose has like a free Oscillate Virtue you can obtain if you have like not played those before, obviously, for example. So I assume that's kind of why the money payouts didn't really get boosted for those types of missions in particular. And also, I think first dose has like an easy hallucination mission. It's almost impossible to fail, if I remember right. Like, yeah, I think the payout is listed on that particular first dose mission as well because of that, but like, that's kind of easy, like, lazy mission you can do if you just want like a 3 times easy payout boost or something, I think. But yeah, select to continue your trip or answer Ron's call to start the first dose. Makes sense, obviously. Because if you haven't done them before, you have a call from like Ron Jakowski, apparently, for the first dose missions. And finally, just 2 times rewards on the short trips for what's on the tile here. I think compared to one of my subsequent attempts, there was like 4 times in like Pizza Dis. I think that got replaced by 2 times reward short trips. But yeah. Short trips though, on like hard mode, they normally pay like 50k. And on 2 times, it should be like 100k on hard mode, I think. Or is it like 100k normally, and it's like 200k on hard, like 2 times? I doubt the latter. I assume it's the former, so it's like 100k, I want to say, on hard. But yeah, the thing is, with these missions, you actually play as Frank Lamar, as the image does suggest. So you have to use their weapons as well as their vehicles. You cannot use your own personal vehicles, and you also cannot use your own like weapon loadout either. I think the only thing you can use of your own is the snacks and the armor, like your health stuff, and I think that's basically it. So these missions are sadly not too replayable, sadly, on these particular ones. They're kind of one and done, and you're probably not going to mostly care about playing them, I would say, at that point. Regardless for contact missions, I actually think they pay kind of best, if I remember right, without an event or otherwise. So having it on 2 times, again, I think it's actually pretty, like, substantial kind of, actually. Because again, I think you can make 100k on a card or something. And it might fall to 16 plus minute thing. I'm not 100% of the other contact missions. It might not. It actually might just be of simply completing the missions, since the short trips are kind of like quite different compared to your average contact mission, even. We had a set of missions. I think there's only like 3 of them. There's the first one, which I think is like Seed Capital or something. I mean, the first mission, I think it actually is a pretty easy one. There's the one, like, second one, I think it's called, like, Fire It Up or something. Yeah, Fire It Up, I think, has, like, a technical, like, custom or something you can use or something, if I remember right. Or at least a regular technical or something. So that mission's actually pretty easy for that reason, if I remember right. And then finally, there's the last mission. I don't 100% remember what the mission name was called on that one, but yeah. It's one where you have like the Epsilon people, if I remember right, and like the sniping on like the like crane of like the construction site or whatever. That one is the last one, therefore the hardest of the free short trips. I don't really see that one being worth it at all, quite frankly, unless you're playing it for like your very first time ever. Doing it for like the Record A Studios office or something, quite possibly even. Quite possibly even, yes. So I'd mostly stick with the first two missions of the mission strand, which are short trips of the free missions, for that reason. But you earn 2 times money in RP, yes, on short trips. On bottom left, it's just simply select to join free mode, makes sense. Which, by the way, I think this time I forgot to say, but yeah. Obviously, you don't do these for deposit money here on this Summer Survival or this thing here. You do it for that one location. As a reminder. Or at least for now, my streams are working good. Yeah, if I remember right, around the end of my last stream or something, I did say there was going to be an outfit tied to the mailing list. aka like the Rockstar propaganda, like the marketing email thing they do, where they share some of the more important information regarding like upcoming Rockstar titles, like any of that kind of stuff. Really, they don't really use it that much, I find nowadays. But yeah, for bigger events like the 420 event, they actually did send one out for the latest event, if I remember correctly. For some especially bigger events, they do kind of share something about that. Otherwise, maybe something like a eventual GT6 trailer free or something, quite possibly they might share for the mailing list or something, for example. But yeah, the multicolor for 20 festival outfit, I presume. Obviously, that was not an outfit before in the game, I'm guessing for sure. So cool. As a reminder, there's still the Bravado Buffalo STX Pursuit for the Plus subscription for $8 a month that you can get entirely for free if you do it that way. Like, obviously, aside for the $8 a month you're paying for that subscription, that is obviously, though. But it is number 1 lap time, of course, for the emergency class. But there's no emergency class races to do, and they're also not usable in random halls, so doesn't really matter too much on the performance of it. But yeah, just to reiterate, that's what the performance is, since it is a plus vehicle for the month. Not really the greatest thing to go out the way for, aside for the huge, like, $4 to $5 million you're basically saving on the vehicle. And yeah, they want to buy shark cars for some reason. To be fair, I only have like a couple $1,000,000 in it, but I have had this in my thing for quite some time, and like, Mansions came out, which costs like 8-digit like amounts usually, I'm pretty sure. And yeah. After that, it's the Safehouse on Hills now available since I'm doing it so late in the event. I guess I got rid of like the other stuff in here. So anything from now available onwards is basically anything that was in here since like December, like mid-December 2025, for quite a few months at this point. And yeah, by the way, I might be finally putting in No Way missions next week. So I kind of plan on covering like everything they went over in the Newswire. And anything not in the Newswire, things like time trial, like premium race, like podium vehicle, like prize ride, like test ride vehicles, like FIB party files, salvage yard, which I don't know warrants another stream, quite frankly. So I might not do an event stream for next week, just be aware. But yeah. Since they even went over the discounts for next week, which they don't usually do. They don't usually share 2 weeks worth of discounts in one newswire, not even like the last couple times around or something they even did that. So I might not do another event week stream, just be aware for next week. I'll try to go over what I can, basically. Like, I know GT Series videos has some new details in like the upcoming event, I think. But yeah, I'll probably only go over anything officially confirmed by Rockstar, of course. If I go over anything for the next event, again, I don't think there will be too much more to cover at that point, and I might do that when I do the No Way missions finally or something. So in a way, the next event is kind of like a smaller one, kind of like a Reddit online one to the point, like for stuff that hasn't been won over on like a newswire at this point. Kind of to where I feel there's only like 1 hour of content or something, or even a little more than that, compared to like a couple hours or something. It probably makes it not warranting doing another event stream next week. So if I don't do one,
hey,
that's
Daddy, ready to party?
Ooh, I got the daddy word. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. The angel AI. Not that she doesn't say that like practically 90+% of the time.
Daddy?
But still. First one on the panel might be guaranteed. I forget.
Okay, Daddy.
Got all 3 times. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Pretty common, but not always the case. Sorry about when you like belch and stuff in events, because like the body for some hernia is a fucking goddamn prick anymore nowadays for me. And, yeah, it's just probably not gonna say anything about it every time, especially when I'm kind of in a rush for the streams, so I have much more time to cover it per se. So yeah, the regular time trial is Power Station or whatever I believe is the titling, by the way, for that one. It's kind of a wiki time trial, kind of not. I also kind of explain of Wednesday it is Power Station. Now, as far as I understand, pretty much the last major update to change regular time trials, and like most of the sets of time trials, was the San Andreas Mercenaries DLC back in like summer 2023. When that update first came out, I believe they would change every single day, like the whole location, like it does for RC Bandito and Junk Energy still do nowadays. I think eventually they got kind of tired of like changing it or something. I don't entirely know what they went back on that aspect of it. But nowadays I think it's the same time trial location for like a whole week. But I want to say you get like 50k per day, like 7 times a week, basically, for like 350k a week or something, up to, if you are that dedicated to do that or something. But yeah, not entirely sure where that one goes. Given the location of it, I don't know if like top speeds somehow could be more prevalent than like some other like regular time trials, or like what though. But you want to use one of the best possible lap time or top speed options, depending on like how the like time trial plays out, for whether it be the motorcycles class, especially. If not, then I would probably say supercars or sport cars, kind of in that order, basically. So I'll kind of go in more detail later on in a couple things from that, basically. basically. Now, RCB and data is a daily thing still, so we'll hover over this one. And this one is the cemetery RCB and data time trial with a 1 minute 20-second hard time. So as the name does imply, you can only use one vehicle choice of yes, RC Bandito. You cannot use any of the RC vehicle or any of that, basically. So this one's more so about how you go about turns and corners, more so than anything, I would say. Which you can kind of go about that naturally, like holding triangle, Y on Xbox, whatever key on PC. If you mess up, that'll let you respawn, obviously, and try again and again and again until you finally do it yourself, proper and everything. Otherwise, obviously look up some video guide if that does not help for some reason. But even with the video guide, you might very much have to do the respawn mechanic anyways, so I do kind of prefer doing the former method over the latter method. I would probably say... After that, the weekly HSW time trial is Ron Orton. After that, yes, HSW time trial is apparently Ron Alternates after that, if I remember right. Yes, the one that goes to like Elysian Island for the HSW time trials. Not gonna hover over it since it's like a weekly thing, and since like connection issues, all that kind of stuff happen nowadays, and the images seem to be like one of the main causes of that, interestingly. For like pause menu jobs and all that kind of stuff. But yes, for route advice though, instead of doing like the turns, corners, or like the beginning, like this part, and well, actually you'll have to do this part anyways, but yeah. Like, instead of doing the first couple turns, essentially though, I recommend going straight for the train tracks. Which, yes, you can go completely straight for the train tracks to land on this street. That's a lot more convenient in a couple turns corners, I would say, if you pull it off correctly. And then, obviously, you want to pretty much from there, I think, do the GPS route. I think when you get to here, the GPS route gets kind of wonky though, since there's like so many streets on the highway, but basically you want to be going on this road over here. Despite the wonkiness of GPS route, just stick to like this road, or do the do the rightmost turn, like not the turn that goes to the right, obviously, but the turn like past that turn on the right or whatever. That's the turn you want to be doing, so you get onto this road. So yes, you get onto this road. Through the bridge, finally over here, and yeah. So like after that part of the highway, it's basically the GPS route, like 100% the way, and even like well before it even just decides for that one exception or whatever. For like a moment or whatever. or whatever though. Yeah, let me get to all this tourist board if I can here. It is almost like 10 o'clock and it might change, kinda. But yes, so. It is Coyote, Pug, and Seagull for technically the day of Wednesday, like the last day of the event. For the last full day of the event anyways. Which Coyote you pretty much find those in the desert areas, like sandy shores, like Pluto Bay, pretty much. Yeah, Sandy Shores, Pluto Bay, like upper desert areas, possibly even the counties are pretty much there. Pugs, you pretty much find in like the rich areas of the city, I believe. I think they're in similar locations to like the poodles kind of are, for example. I think similar areas, I mean, not all those kind of areas. Maybe they're not as rich kind of dog breeds as like the poodles per se. I feel there's similar key scenario to the poodle. I feel for where those would spawn. And then seagull. Seagull, obviously, like the dock areas or whatever, like where you like deliver the export cars for the exotic exports, which I actually did get on my first take of the stream before that one got kind of ruined over quality issues or something. And also like Vespucci Beach, etc., like kind of city, like water, near like water areas. That's pretty much obviously going to be where you find the seagulls. And yes, 10 or so, maybe it changes that 11, so I'm not 100% right now, actually. Those are the ones, basically, for like a little tad longer, like, I have to like last moments or something else, as I was understanding it even. But anyways, back to the HSW town trail a little bit. As a reminder, I was last talking about like the route. I didn't really get to like more into particular with the vehicles or something. By the way, it's only on the newer platforms for the HSW time trials. But yeah, if you are on a newer platform and you have access to HSW time trials, the HSW subclass can be further broken down into three like subclasses, like a Class C, a Class B, a Class A. At least for me anyways, Class C will be the ones that start with Receiver class, ironically, which is Compacts, Coupes. And it's only 3 of those total, actually. Compacts got added later on in the trip feed, if I recall. Like early on in the Night Gen trip feed, I think before Vespucci Job Remix came out, or with Vespucci Job Remix or something, with the Grotti Grosso RA HSW. And then the two... And yeah, that was the only compact HSW, and then the 2 coupe HSWs in the game are the Ubermax Sentinel XS HSW, the same Sentinel that recently got the drifting, I think, in this update, if I remember right. And then, it's the Nissi Euro X42, X42, X42 for the other coupe HSW vehicle in the game. Now, Class B, Class A does have like 10 plus vehicles, so I won't go as much into specifics from here. But yeah. Pretty much anybody I think would agree on Class B, and that's the muscle cars, it's the sports classics, and eventually Sanders Mercenaries DLC Summer 2023, yes. Came out with Off-Road, starting with the HSW Monstrosity, and the second one being the HSW Fireball ASP from the last winner's HSW DLC. And then finally, Class A goes into what I was saying with the regular time trials. Is pretty much best of land vehicle classes in the game. That's why I was recommending them even for regular time trials. And that's sports, supers, and motorcycles. And as for like the latest 2 new HSW options from our latest Safehouse and Hills DLC. Initially at launch of the update, came out with the Vapid F&J Mark 5 supercar, which is actually the #1 lap time and top speed supercar, so I think it was pretty much the best land vehicle. Besides per se the HSW Hogtail Drag for like the motorcycles class, which is basically the best one you can basically use in HSW time trials. And as a HSW vehicle as a whole even, as a whole even. And finally, like the last month or two or so, came out with the P-Fist or a Straw for the Sports Classics class. Which, that one was only like second place the last time I remember replaced top speed, so it wasn't really that revolutionary for the Sports Classics class, unfortunately. Being beat by the Turismo Classic for lap time and 4 Turismo Classics Sterling GT that were out before for top speed for HSW Sport Classics. So the latest one's not exactly the greatest, but will be the one I'll be using on the stream if I can get that far into it, of course. Definitely should check my stream again. Alright, good. Seems like it's working still. Okay, awesome. Finally, no. Actually, before that, I have to go over the Shunk Energy time trial. Basically. Which is Ulta, at least for like another less than an hour or so at most at this point. I like the cemetery one actually has the 1 minute 20-second car time, by the way. But yeah. This is the latest set of time trials that like became a thing in the start with the Santos Mercenaries DLC, okay, the last DLC to change time trials mechanically at least. I would say. Yeah, this one you have 2 vehicles you can use, interestingly. But it is similar to our Signal data. It's 2 vehicles, even though they're basically the same vehicle. It's the regular inductor without the livery, and then there's the Junk Energy inductor that you'll most likely be using with the livery on it. But they're basically the same bicycle anyways. They yes, are basically the same bicycle. Again, one has a livery, one just does not. So as long as you don't fall off the bicycle, go where you need to go, maximize on your curse boost, you should have no problem completing it whatsoever. You cannot use other bicycles from like 2013, by the way, like the BMX, or even like the race bikes or any of that. Those ones are not allowed, so they're just the inductor bicycles that came out in 2023, like the ones that came out almost a decade later, or quite possibly even over a decade later with like Drift or something in that update. I forget, to be honest. But something like that. And yeah, I don't really think you have to bunny hop on most of these. There might be ones that we might have to, I forget, on a rare occasion. Yeah. I think they're pretty straightforward. They're actually not that bad, I would say, to do, honestly, if you wanted to, for some reason. Okay, now for real this time with the premium race. For the Classics class, which is basically the Sports Classics class. Yeah, they usually call it Sports Classics class or something like that. Here they usually call it Classics for the premium race for some reason. Alright, stream's still going. Okay, good. So yeah, for the Sports Classics class, there's 3 options total for the HSW subclass. I kind of mentioned them all already, actually, and like kind of where they are, I think, already, even as a matter of fact, because I was talking about the FIFA Straw earlier for the HSW time trials. But yeah, if you're on newer platforms in particular, you probably want to be sticking to those 3, which are the... I'll go in real east order. Turismo Classic HSW is basically the best one for lap time, and like second one, I believe, for top speed. So I think for the most part, you do want to be using Turismo Classic HSW with the 3 Sport Classic HSWs in most cases. After that, the first update that came out after the release of the 9th version of the game was the Colonel Enterprises DLC. That came out with the Sterling GT HSW, which I believe is the worst one for lap time, and it's also like the first place for top speed. It is actually, yeah, the worst one for lap time, and then like the top one, I believe, for top speed. So, probably the one least worth using, I'm kind of guessing. Roto Sterling GT HSW of the HSW, of the free HSWs, and then finally, the latest HSW they can release in the game is the Pete Fister Astral. And that one is second place and third place again, like I said earlier, I believe, on top speed. Again, it wasn't really revolutionary for Sport Classic HSWs, unfortunately, since there's already kind of 2 of those anyways. And Sport Classics, I don't think would really be fitting for like an electric one, for like acceleration or anything, obviously. So, yeah, it's pretty much in the middle for a lap time. So if you don't have Turismo Classic, I guess it's kind of your runner-up option. But it is the worst one in a straight line, but like top speed is kind of the worst of the metrics. Yes, HSW does prioritize in top speed, but top speed pure straights is kind of very niche by comparison to lap time, which is a lot more important. And yeah, for legacy platforms, if you're not on the newer platforms, I believe you have the Uranus low speed or must be lot speed from like last winter's update. I think it's like the best one for lap time. I think the regular P-Fister Straw is kind of in here, I believe, as well for like top 3 for non-HSWs. Oh, look, of course. Look, of course. Alright, so I pulled up Ruffy 1322's vehicle spreadsheet, so I can look at that, obviously. Alright, I was kind of wrong about this straw. Oh, yeah, if I want to go over all of the A-tier options, I guess I'm technically not, but, yeah. I might just stick to 3 of them to go over, I think, for the legacy platforms. I might be wrong. That's kind of what I usually do, though, I think. We have our A tier, which is the best tier you can get, which is basically any of the best non-HSW ones in the game. For Sport Classics, it's Uranus Slow Speed, must be not speed from like last winter's update. After that is the LSC and Cheetah Classic, which is the pretty much the one Sport Classic thing that came out in the last summer update, the update before the Safehouse and Hills update for Money Fronts. And then the pretty recent new Italic Classic and then the Astral are 3rd and 4th for A tier. And then 5th, 6th, and 7th for A tier are like the old school kind of best ones for like the longest time, I think, which was Turismo Classic, the non-HSW Turismo Classic, Cheetah Classic, and then the Ardent, the weaponized one from like Warstock or something for Sport Classics. Which are all within like the top 10, even like top 9, like the single digits for lap time. For those A tier options. Or actually, that's within top 10. Okay, yeah. I didn't realize. I guess there was like 7 of those that went over like up to there. And some for top speed are as low as like 21st place, but like, again, like top speed is like the least important of the 2 metrics between lap and top speed. I don't usually count accelerations since it's kind of niche. That's mostly like electric vehicles, and I think that's mostly a usable metric removed, if anything. But yeah. So what is lap time? What is top speed for those not as aware? Lap time is turns corners in the city. Yeah, a lot of races will have like quite a bit of turns corners, so lap time is very important for that reason. Top speed, on the other hand, is pretty niche, where you want to use it on like highways primarily, alongside airport runways, in airstrips, such as last winter's Tongue of the Hills one. I don't expect that to be in an actual Rockstar Creator race since it came out like so late in the game, obviously, but just in case. Grants North Desert and Grapeseed. Yeah, it's not a lot of locations in the city map that have like top speed is like the main metric you can worry about. That's why it's a lot more niche. And yeah, contrary to the image showing like the hot ring like race going on like the airport, which has like stunt tracks, I don't think they really have stunt tracks on any pre-am races. I think those are like land races they usually do for the. I think they usually only do land races for a pre-am race if I remember correctly. So it's probably not going to ever have stunt tracks to them. No. How do you know what the race course is going to be if I'm not going to actual race course? You can do square for start job on the like on like the bottom right rectangle, like the black rectangle right in the middle. That's square for start job, which is X on Xbox, whatever key it is on PC. I forgot like Michael's garage area, like this 4-car garage thing from story mode there. I think right on D-pad if you're in the actual like, pink Corona. Otherwise, you can do like on call for the phone is another option. And after that, yeah. And when you get into the actual lobby screen or whatever, you can also do square X and Xbox or key on PC. I think it lets you see the map of the race. You can analyze for lap time and top speed since I'm not going over actual race course obviously on the stream. I never really do that for pre races, like over actual race course. So I don't really feel like going that much off the way to do that, obviously.
What's up, buddy? How's the new purchase?
That freeway been under construction for like 20 years.
That stream still seems good. Okay, good. Good.
Losers take public transportation. Come on, man.
Alright, so over to the podium vehicle.
And stop all the bleats about how spiritual you
Don't
feel.
even think I got that far at this point yet, because of bullshit, of course, as I've kind of explained earlier in the stream, but yeah. Yeah, so. Because yeah, I still have my wheel spin, and I just visited the casino for the, like, daily challenges or whatever. Assuming it doesn't change at like 10 p.m. or something.
Stop by and
Whatever,
have a try at the Lucky Wheel.
Hello.
Alright, so visitor bonus coming to 1,660,939 chips, it looks like. My one wheel spin for the event is doing it solely in the event now. Albeit that's kind of what I usually do since I hate how it's like 24 hours after you spin it, doesn't miss out to do the check timer, which I find really dumb and stupid as hell. And I'm not going to pay for plus $30 for a second spin to kind of remedy it or anything. Alright, clothing that makes strike best. The thing is, I pretty much have any clothing from like 2019 and before. Like with Down Casino Resort DLC onwards, I actually have pretty much all that regular clothing. Unless like an arena outfit or something, since those are like pretty goddamn expensive in the game or something. Which are like 2018 outfits. So unless like something from the casino store or something, it's usually not really like a new one for me on that wheel. It's basically what I'm trying to say there. It's a motorcycle apparently for the prize, not the prize, sorry, but the podium vehicle. I mean, it looks like it's the Western Reaver, actually, a very good motorcycle actually. Regardless of what platform you're on, actually, as I'll explain. ID business, the document border, okay. Siemens vehicle list, whatever. Whatever motorsport, motorcycles, I'm pretty sure. Looks like there's a discount, or a preview of a discount here, it looks like. Oh, but yeah, I wasn't actually meant to see that, never mind, actually. But yeah, Western Reaver has the, like, interesting looking headlight there. Yeah, so I pretty much know as long as I see the headlight like that. It's a $1.9 million motorcycle. with missile lock-on jammer available. So you can put this lock-on jammer on this beam, which is really sick, especially because this motorcycle is already like a smaller target. So you're already a smaller target, and you're going to be even more difficult to hit with the lock-on jammer. Since you will not be able to be straight up locked onto. I'll check just in case on the GT series videos getting posted, I think. Just to make sure 100% it is the Western River before going any further. Alright, yeah, it is, as I thought it was when it said headlights. I pretty much recognize the headlights on that vehicle when I see it, and pretty much can point right away that's the Reaver once I see that, like I said earlier. Alright. Trees, kind of a cash all, it looks like. Yes, yes. But yes, still. Yes, still, yes, still. So the vehicle is $1.9 million, plus it has like livery support on it. It's like another 20-30K if you keep whatever livery already comes on it, basically. Like upwards of 1,920,930,000 or so. Which I would say saves you around like 2 hours of grinding if you're like grinding the game efficiently. That'd probably save you like 2 hours of grinding, I would say. Pretty nice, pretty nice savings, I would say, on the vehicle. But yeah, this one's actually, by the way, #1 top speed, actually, for the motorcycles class, which is actually really insane. Yes, it's even better top speed than even HSW Hot Track. That's how insane the top speed is on this one. And then I don't actually remember the lap time, but I definitely swear it's a top 10 on lap time as well. So it's actually a really insanely good motorcycle in the game. But I'll check Rep 1322's vehicle spreadsheet. I gotta get out of like that one section. The overall. No, not overall, but lap time top speeds for its tiers. Into the extra classes. Extra classes, by the way, don't have a letter tier, so there's no letter tier over on this one. And yes, enough for 8th place for lap time as well as 1st place top speed. A 163 miles per hour, by the way, on the top speed. Compared to HSW Outro Drag's 157.5 top speed mile per hour, apparently. So that's quite a few extra miles per hour on its top speed, even compared to the one HSW motorcycle in the game for top speed. The only one that dethrones the HSW Outro. The only one that has a better top speed than the HSW motorcycle in the game. That's really insane. So this one's especially good on your highways, airport runways, and airstrips, as I said earlier. For a motorcycles class, this is absolutely a very good vehicle here. If you do manage to get it, it's a very good vehicle. If you do or have already, it's a very good vehicle. Oh, okay, you do get icon. Okay, Stern Survival is the vehicle. Take a trip and survive the hallucinations. I'll do it more towards the end of the stream since I really have to try to like get through the rest of the live stream at this point. So I'll get to it at some point later in the stream. Of course, if I can get that far, hopefully, which I better be able to. I really need this to go all the way through with how late it is in the stream. Like the event, I mean. But yeah, Silver now to the LS car meet. Be next one. Well, yes, be next. Alright, so over here, this time around, there is the Vapid Click, Batcher Rapid GT Classic, as well as the Vapid Hustler. Apparently, is the vehicles on display this time around. on yes display this time around. Vapid Click came out in the Arena War DLC. The Rapid GT Classic, I think, came out with like Smuggler's Run or something. I could be wrong about that. Might have been one of the very little amount of like land vehicles that came out in Smuggler's Run update, if I remember right. Or somewhere around there, so I think it is an online exclusive vehicle for that reason. I think the Hustler came out in the Doomsday Heist DLC, I believe, back in 2017. Or if counting Trippy, I guess that'd be like early 2018, compared to like late 2018, say like Click or something. So yes, so I think all these vehicles came out in like 2017, 2018, so I think they're all free on exclusives this time around. And they're likely going to be vaulted vehicles this time around as well. I'm definitely very much going to guess, realistically speaking, what they kind of usually do in this dealership. Yeah, roughly 152's vehicle spreadsheet does have a section for vehicle states or something, so I will know from that, obviously. That's obviously. Looks like all but one vehicle might be a vaulted vehicle this time around, it looks like. For the average ones that tend to be like vaulted vehicles, just basically any like slot for like a test track, like a test ride that's not basically the luxury autos, basically on average. Yeah, the Vapid Click, back when it came out, it was actually really good for performance, I believe, for the muscle car class, but I assume it got thrown into like the 10s instead of being like top 10 or something. Of course. Rapid GT Concept for sports classes, I think is like a B tier. At one point, I think it was a B tier. It might be more like C tier with all the newer sport classes in the game or something at this point now, I'm guessing. And then the Hustler, I think at one point it was actually like really good for top speed for muscle car class, but I'm assuming that's no longer the case really for that vehicle. So kind of some has-been vehicles there actually used to be kind of good in some cases, I think. I probably just aren't anymore, I'm guessing. But it looks like the Click has 12 appearances, it looks like, as of the current event. So it's appeared a dozen times, apparently, for the dealerships. And yes, it is a vaulted vehicle. It is on the spreadsheet, apparently, for the section I'm looking at. But yeah, since summer 2023, San Andreas Mercenaries DLC was a DLC that like vaulted a bunch of vehicles, like 2.5 years or so at this point, I think. It's made 12 appearances at the dealerships at this rate. Rapid GT Classic, on the other hand, I think has one extra appearance for 13, and the Hustler is also 12 appearances. Again, in like a 2.5 year like time span at this point, like plus or so at this point, All three of these vehicles are in fact vaulted vehicles. Looks like the one slot that's not going to be vaulted will be in the Simeons or whatever. But I think for a GT series, I think the Click is the original GT 09. Rapid GT Classic, I think technically is as well. I don't think the original Rapid GT was a thing until 5 online, so yeah, I think the Classic in turn is as well online exclusive, not in like 3D Universe or like 2D Universe or something I'm talking about. Alright, Kush Weed, I see. The Hustler, however, is a retro nostalgic vehicle it has previously featured in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where I believe it was the GTA, like, no. Yeah, the Hustler is a retro nostalgic vehicle from GTA San Andreas, where I think it was like Denise's vehicle, like the story mode girlfriend you would get basically in the game just by playing the story, if I remember correctly. So it is kind of retro nostalgic for that. But again, I think nowadays these just don't perform that good for the classes they're in. I believe nowadays they're not really too crazy if you get them or not. Like, all of them probably have some pretty good customization for this preference kind of stuff you can do with them, but like, performance-wise, they're not going to really hit much nowadays, I would say. I would say. After that, apparently the Pride Start vehicle is the BF Club. Pride Start Challenge is apparently placed top 4 for 3 days in a row. Top 4 is good enough for a pursuit race, by the way, so that can be done there. So yes, top 4 is pretty doable in a pursuit race if you want to do pursuit race over, say, like a street race or something, even. But yeah, you probably have to stick to a minimum 4 players for a pursuit race unless you don't want to be guaranteed. Because once you go past the minimum count, going to like 5 player onward on pursuit race, it won't be a guaranteed challenge anymore at that point. Like entry for the challenge or whatever. Whereas, I mean, the street races you can do 2, 3, and 4 players. Anything 5 over, obviously for a street race, obviously won't be a guaranteed entry for the challenge, obviously. So yeah, obviously like per usual, street race is pretty much the way to go. I'm not 100% informed what sprint races count or not. They might. I'm not 100%. I especially don't really see drag or trip races counting now. Those came out in like 2023 compared to like 2021 of the Prize Art system. I've never done them with more than like solo, I would say, for drag and trip races. I think since can solo those ones. So I haven't tried it, but I assume those don't count for the Prize Art challenges either. Or at least those probably for sure don't. Since they just came out a couple years after Prize Art system or everything, and on Rockstar don't really go back to touch up older content and make it update for like newer content or something. Yeah, BF Club is what on San Andreas, I think it is. Came out in the last Los Santos Summer Special update. And it is actually retro nostalgia from GTA San Andreas. Once again, like Hustler has appeared in that game as well. So if you are big in like older GTA titles, it is a return vehicle from that game, which is pretty cool. Low preview had some discounts. It's looking like you're... Yes, so Los Santos was special. This one won't save you as much money as the podium vehicle to start around at $1,280,000. Assuming it has like a livery support or something, like 20-30K at most if you keep exactly what livery comes on there at the start for this particular build. Gets you more like 1.3 million savings, which can be pretty nice. probably say it's like 1 to 1.5 hour grind. And if you are like grinding the game efficiently, then probably an hour, hour and a half at like most, I would say it is. Again, not as good as Season Money isn't as high as like, the Reaver, obviously, but it is an over $1 million vehicle at least that you are getting here. And the challenge isn't that hard, especially if you just do the street races. I don't know if like most like players would like just start a pursuit race at like 4 players. Most people might do more than 4 players on like pursuit race. Street race is easier, just guarantee you get it like started with the minimum player count, since obviously you have less players required for that. Yeah, this one's in the compacts class if I remember right, where I think it's actually the best non-HSW in the game if I remember right as well. So I mean it's basically the best compacts that's in the legacy platforms, I think. Yes, apparently second place on time as well as second place top speed. So yeah, it's just behind the Brios RA HSW like I was kind of saying earlier in the stream, I believe. Or suggesting at least. So it is effectively the best compacts for like the legacy platforms, basically. It's the only S tier compact basically that's not HSW. So yeah, pretty good, especially if HSW is disabled in a compact race. It's basically the next best option at that point. Which yeah, might be pretty niche. Most people might not do compact races, but never know if you'll end up using it or not, per se. And it's a fresh nostalgic vehicle from Zoom Traders, what's not that like about this vehicle. I would say it's a pretty good one to shoot for if you want it. So both podium and the prize fight are pretty good this time. Coil Cyclone 2 apparently is the preem test ride apparently this time around for the newer platforms only. One of 5 supercar HSW vehicles in the game. It is the one that's an electric one, so it shines in the acceleration. It shines in the acceleration aspect of the game. So it's good for getting out gunfights real quick since it has like a huge amount of acceleration in the game. Lap time. Be at a lap time though. I think it's one of the best ones actually for a lap time. Or it's like, I think it's average actually for a lap time, like 3rd place, yeah. And I think it's the worst one for top speed at 5th place for the HSW supercars. I think it also beats I think it beats all non-HSW vehicles for top speed, or at least most of them it does, if I remember right as well for top speed again, because HSW actually prioritizes in top speed, so it kind of makes sense. Even for electric, that would actually be one of the best top speeds in the game at that point. On here, HSW vehicle list, it is 7th one on the list. According to that, Sun Electric Motorsport website, definitely is not vaulted. It's definitely not vaulted. I think the only HSW ever got vaulted was the Sterling GT between San Andreas and Mercenaries up until Agent Sabotage, like last winter's update, where it finally got brought back into the game with the missile lock-on chamber and all that. Which, yeah, they didn't really update the list of showdowns on the website once again, which is interesting. So yeah, there's at least one mistake on the list for that reason, but yeah, it's definitely on Electric Motorsport. I know for a fact that it is on the second too. stream's so loud, it looks like okay, good. Good. So next over to Luxury Autos. Luxury Autos taking my goddamn body for some carny shit that slows me down heavily a bunch of times. Even that goes pretty quick despite not bullshit for me. Yeah, cocaine, cool. Whatever. Plus promotions since I flew over to the garage, I believe, or the club garage, or whatever. Yeah, I'm kind of angled different in my room, by the way, so that's why I was going, by the way, there. It's body for stomach hernia, I'm finding, like, kind of a way of, like, burn in my room, or, like, get into my room, basically, so, like, not as destructive, I guess, with this bodily bullshit that happens with me and fucking more and shit. Though I'm mostly doing it for possible connectivity issues, of course. Try and remedy it maybe a little bit easier or something, albeit not necessarily the most. But still. I don't think the issue is just because I'm from the console. I don't think that's the issue, of course, but still. I think the issue is different for one having connectivity issues lately. But whatever though. But yeah, Bravado Banshee GTS from last winter's update, HSW eligible vehicle if you're on newer platforms in particular. As well as the GT750 from the latest update, okay. But yeah, the Banshee GTS, I don't assume is on a discount. But I think even a non-HSW version of it is actually pretty good as well, if I remember right. But it's mostly honestly going to be especially good for HSW, where it's actually the #1 top speed land vehicle in the whole game, I believe, as well. But yeah, if you actually make this HSW, I believe it's said to be better top speed than all of the helicopters in the entire game, and only like 13 planes apparently in the whole game even have better top speed than the Banshee GTS. That's all it's seen. The top speed is for the particular HSW version of this vehicle. It's actually insane when you get HSW at the top speed on this one. So even non-HSW is pretty good on this, especially for top speed. It's well done, therefore for that reason. I think even off time is even like top 10 for non-HSW, I think, as well in this one. And then Grady GT750 is basically like a successor to GT500 from like Doomsday Heist, basically, or something for sports classics. But yeah, the thing is, in this latest update, it was sport classics, but like so many better sport classics in this latest update came out. With both the regular and HSW Astral are basically both better, as well as the Italic Classic. So I think between all the new sport classics and the latest updates, the worst of them. So like, yeah, unless you're really a big fan of the vehicle, I probably wouldn't bother with this one too much for one in the latest update though. No.
I'd love to. Where are you staying? The Falcon Grand? That sounds awesome. Sure, I'll wear whatever you want. Those pumps again? Okay, yeah. Those two.
Yeah, I don't think those are on discount at all. Definitely not. Definitely not. So moving on to Simeons here at this point.
I bring them on. Jesus Christ!
Alright, and finally here, Almy Alpha is from Business Update. It is actually in single player for Alpha. I know that for a fact. You know, Super Diamond is actually day 1 vehicle, but it's also CO vehicle, fun fact as well. So I think when you get it as a CO vehicle, you can also spawn it for free as a CO vehicle as well, fun fact on this one. Vapid Riata is, I believe, from Doomsday Heist or something actually, so I think this one's not an exclusive. Quick Blackfin is Gotham Games Update Part 1, if I remember right, so I think this one's actually in single player. And Benefactor XLS. I want to say this one's the one that's actually on the vehicle website here, since it has the armored version as well, actually. Unless it's a Blackfin, it's not like vaulted or something. It's one of those two. I think they're the ones that's the one that's like still on the vehicle website, or got brought back with like a lock on jam or something. Yeah, that's the thing. If it's vaulted, it does not have a lock on jammer. Just keep in mind, by the way. Keep in mind, by the way. I see it. Only Alpha is actually a retro nostalgic vehicle, by the way. A fun fact from GTA San Andreas. Once again, actually. Yeah, GTA San Andreas had the Alpha apparently as well. I don't know if it was like that significant missions per se, or in any role or much of anything. Same with the club, I think, but still, it's just so dumb. You know, Super Diamond comes from AC Universe previously in GTA 4 about Tony, I think, that game of 4 or 5 on basically. So it's a little bit retro nostalgic, but not the craziest per se compared to like 3D Universe or even like 2D Universe vehicles even. I think for GT series, Riata's original GT Online seemed to go quick Blackfin for that particular variation of the Coquid at least. Quick, whatever. And XLS I think is definitely online, like I don't think it's ever appeared in a GT game before online, I'm saying basically, if it's basically. Now performance-wise, I think the Alpha is in the sports class. I don't think it's the craziest sport car in the game, no, so it's not crazy performance, I would say an Alpha. Especially with sport car being like the most populated class in the game or whatever. Super Diamond Sedan, though, I think it's more a luxury sedan. It was also a day 1 game, so it's definitely not that crazy for performance, I would say, on that one. That one. Riata is an off-road truck, which I don't think exactly performs the greatest, if I remember right. Quick Blackfin's a muscle car. Definitely doesn't exactly perform the greatest nowadays. It might have used to have a good top speed or something like the Hot Star, for example, earlier. Those days are very much well gone, I think. And a regular XLS, I don't necessarily think is that revolutionary for like SUV performance or anything either. So I don't really think any of these are that crazy performance. Just keep in mind. Just keep in mind. Okay, so back on left times, top speeds, and race tiers over to the new vehicles data section of the spreadsheet once again. But yeah, apparently the alpha has been available 11 times. Again, it's in like a 2.5 year time span, like since the vehicle started being like vaulted, 2.5-ish years or so, and it's appeared 11 times on dealerships. I think that's less than any of the ones at the previous dealership, of course. The Super Diamond actually is even less than that at 10 appearances, which actually is the least appearance of any of the ones for this particular week. And again, this is actually a CO vehicle, so if you do buy it, you should be able to spawn it as a CO vehicle for free. It's just say like 5K or whatever it costs normally, or whatever to spawn one. It is one that actually costs money, I think, to spawn for sure, so you would save that cost, I think, every time to spawn it, if you do get a CO vehicle. Like, if you buy one that's personal, I think you get the CO spawn for free, I'm pretty sure. You could also just buy Plus for that, but it's better just buy the vehicle, of course, so you don't have to pay a subscription for that feature. Of course, though. Which, yeah, I do own a Super Diamond myself for that reason, so I can actually spawn it entirely for free. I just wanted to see all of them there. That's kind of why I went all the way down to 20, by the way. But yeah, it is a CO vehicle, in fact, for free. I think even the regular XLS is actually a CO vehicle, not the armored one, ironically. That one, I think, also does a CO vehicle as well, fun fact. I don't know why they chose the civilian one, not the armored one in that case, but whatever. I think they did at least. Anyways, back to vehicle vault information, the Riata has also appeared 11 times, just like the Alpha apparently does. In almost 2.5-ish years since Mercenaries DLC. And then Quick Blackvin appears for the 13th time on a dealership, alongside Rapid GT Classic for the highest appearance rate for the particular event, or whatever particular event, between the 7 vaulted vehicles in the game. And yet, XLS is not a vaulted vehicle. You can actually buy on the vehicle website. I knew it was either that or the Blackfin, pretty much for sure. Again, I pretty much knew it was going to be this one. This has the armored version on it as well. Yes, so. Should be on the Legend Motorsport website, I think, for finance and felony DLC for that one. Yes. So yeah, the one on dealership means the regular one, which I think is the CO spawn on the regular one. But yeah, there's also the much better armored version. The only downside to the armored one is this particular one's not the CO version for whatever reason. And it's actually the civilian version, it's the CO one. Kind of weird to me, but it is what it is, I suppose. So I'll check that one more time. It says on the descriptions, if it doesn't say armored on like the description of the vehicle, then it's the regular one. Like here in the bar LEOWB, it does specify it's the armored one, whereas XLS does not specify armored, so it's the traditional XLS that is the CO vehicle. Once again, like the Super Diamond, if you buy it, you do actually get to spawn the CO one for free, which is nice. Which is nice. I don't think the Super Diamond and XLS are exactly the most sought after like CO spawns, but it is a nice feature. If you do buy those two vehicles, you can spawn it for free without spending $8 a month for the Plus subscription. I don't assume they got rid of the way to do it for free. I'm pretty sure with the subscription, I don't assume they did that or anything. Like, I have all mine for free still, obviously, but then again, I got them like 4 months soon, I think free as well. So hard to say, really. Myself, at least. But I assume it's obviously works either way. So since we were working, okay, good. I got far enough for money, opportunity, talk, and stuff. I passed the dealerships, which is pretty much the longest part, I would say. in a way, and in a way, starts for like discount talk at least. At least. Yeah, conveniently on the Rockstar Newswire, they actually have a whole section which lists the money opportunities and the discounts, so I can't just go for there and I have to go like all for the Newswire, I think, which is nice, which is nice on this one particular Rockstar Newswire. So I'll go for I will go for the week 1 first, and if I have time later in the stream, I'll go over week 2. If I don't have time for week 2, I'll probably do it in like the No Way Out mission stream, if I can do so, of course. Of course. So April 16th, April 22nd, the bonuses and discounts is once again 4 times money on RP on the Stoner Survival, which I already talked about actually. Once again, for 4 times, there is also Hunting Pack Get Lamar on 4 times. Adversary mode. No matter times the money, I think usually you get like a couple $100,000 an hour on average, I would say, for like an adversary mode for the most part. So like I'd say no more than like 200K or something like that an hour, so like on average at least, on average of course. It could maybe be higher than that if you're like a really crazy skilled player, as long as like the rest of your team is also a crazy high skilled player, of course, but yeah. Adversary moves, I think you usually pay like a couple $100,000 or so at most on average, on average though. And it's based on the amount of time it lasts, how the game it plays into that set amount of time it can last. The amount of players it can support kind of plays into the battle, especially such a. I don't think Honey Pack Get Lamar has that many players, but like, yeah, probably like a couple $100,000 or something. Again, at most. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but what's on like the main menu, but it's the pizza. This stuff is 4 times, like I was kind of saying earlier, for all 3 locations. Of course, it's the same odd job, so all 3 will have the 4 times. You can make some small 5-6 digit sums, I presume, on like 4 times money. Yeah, on 4 times money, you can probably make like high 5-digit and like low 6-digit sums of money in like 1 run, I'm guessing. 1 run, I'm definitely guessing. Yes, though, on average, I expect probably like high 5-digit, low 6-digit money on like 1 run of pizza it is, I'm guessing. For a single location. With all the locations, you probably make like a couple $100,000 or something an hour or something. I wouldn't be surprised if an adversary mode though. As a reminder, there was once again the 3 times money and RP on the first and last dose missions. Might go more details there for the career progression page or something, if I think I can. If I even think I can. But yeah, the first introductory mission's probably pretty easy for Welcome to the Troop. Designated driver. Oh, that's the one where like your vehicle goes on fire for like a. Yeah, designated driver though, I think is where like what part of like the flatbed or something gets on fire or something on the back if I remember right or something. That one mostly just drive. I don't even think there's that much action in it or something, so I don't think that one's actually that bad if I remember right. Fatal Incursion. Is that the, like, one of those ones, like 3, 4, or 5, I think is like the one where you go on like the acid trip or something, like the hallucination one or something, where it's difficult to fail it or something for like a small payout or something. Whatever one that is pretty good. I think there's one where you have to go into a couple different like interiors or something. I kind of forget, like Sandy Shore, Plato Bay kind of area or something. That one could be a long mission, which could give you a longer payout, but like the gameplay of that one's not necessarily the greatest, which is either 4 or 5, I'm guessing that one. Or that might even be 3, I'm not even sure. Make War Not Love, that was like one where you go to like kind of area where like the stoner survival is, right? If I'm remembering right, and also that's like a last dose mission I'm thinking of. That one's not bad either, if I recall right. But yeah, that one might have to go to the Ultras camp and stuff, I forget. Maybe it's worse than I thought, actually, on that one. And off the rails, the finale mission. Yeah, unless you're doing it your first time for Brigade 6x6, I honestly don't see that one being too worth replaying, per se. Per se. So I think at least half of them are pretty worth playing. Especially, like, the first 2, I think would probably be the easiest ones to replay again and again. Before they get more and more, like, difficult and stuff, obviously. Not counting the acid trip one, of course, that one, again, is difficult to fail, I think. Whatever one that one is. In, like, the later half or whatever. We had our 6 first dose and 5 last dose for 11 missions total for the 3 times. This is an intervention. That's the one, I'm pretty sure, actually, that goes to the, like, area from Series A finale, I think, where you have to go into, like, the vehicles or something, if I remember right, like, the box trucks and stuff, on that finale mission, and then drive them on, like, the highway or something, right? I'm pretty sure, pretty sure. Yeah, I think that one's like an ambush mission, if I remember right, actually, on that one for the first last dose. If you're good at PvP, it's a good mission, but otherwise, I would probably skip that one, actually, to be honest. Was there also, like, kind of a tailing mission one or something for one of those? I kind of forget. Like, one of, like, hippies or something? Something with that? I don't know. I forget if that one's even that hard or not, honestly. That might actually be one of the better last dose ones to play, actually. Actually. I think Freed Mine is like a stealth mission, right? If I remember, in like interior or something. I think. If you're good at stealth missions, it's actually not a bad one. That actually might be one of the better ones to play for the last dose missions 2 and 3. I think I want to say. I want to say. Last dose 4, that involved the airport, or was that just the last one with the BDKD? I forget. Probably not, actually, on Last Dose 4. I kind of forget what Last Dose 4 is, I feel, to be honest. Unless that hippie mission in, like, 2's maybe the one I'm confused on which one it is. Oh, wait, that's right, there's a hallucination mission on that, too, I think. That was, like, combat-focused. That's one of those 2, actually, for Unusual Suspects and checking in, I think. I think. That's right, both the first dose and the last dose, I think, have one mission that's hallucination-focused, I think. The last dose one, I think it's combat, like, hallucination. That one is one you actually can fail kind of easy, I think. But yeah, I think it is one of the easier ones to play too, if you do it right, at least. Yeah, honestly, I've been checking in or whatever one, the hallucination last dose is pretty good too, not gonna lie, but not as good as the first dose hallucination per se, as I say. And then finally beat the KD is like the finale mission for last dose, which, yeah, the finale missions for first dose and last dose are gonna be some of the hardest ones of the strands. So unless you're getting like the vehicle rewards for first time completing those, probably not too worth doing them subsequently or whatever. Whatever though. God, bro, this fucking body puts on cardio all the time anymore. Like, holy fuck, bro. Really, could just went for there? Okay, my bad. Probably better to go through them separate though, so it's more clear which ones are first dose and last dose. I mean, yeah, it is pretty clear. There's still whatever though, whatever though. I think I've spoken of details on the 2 times 1 ERP on the short trips. Again, I knew one of them was like Seed Capital and like Fired Up or something for the names. It's the finale mission, I'm not really too sure what it's called, but I described it perfectly, I would say, for the most part anyways. Again, for the short trips, you really just want to focus on the first 2. I think the last mission, again, being like a finale mission, tends to be like a much harder one or something for that reason, And not really the most worth replaying unless it's like your first time playing it or something, obviously. It wouldn't really be a replay of it per se, obviously. There's a 2 times money RP on the community combat series, apparently. Yeah, death matches, it's people whose brains are fried too, apparently, which is akin to Hill, I believe, as well. So it's just a different section for whatever reason. Oh, and that's it. Okay. That's actually the only single one there is, apparently. So I assume it's also a new map as well. I believe it's probably also a new map then for that reason, for that reason. So yeah, that's where. So yes, that's their one map. That's their 2 times 1 RP, apparently. King Hill will probably pay like adversary mode, or at most you'll probably make like 100,000 if you keep doing it for like an hour or something. Probably not going to be that crazy, of course. Of course, there's some other things going on though. No. There's also 2 times money on weed sell missions, which is nightclub and biker, apparently. So for nightclub, weed is only one of 7 product types, so it's not going to be that crazy for the nightclub. It's not going to boost the nightclub sales that much. I'm guessing for sure. Yeah, the actual weed business has got a boost from the smoke on water business for the previous money fronts update. I forget if you can like boost the nightclub production speed, but you can definitely do a production speed or whatever for the weed for the mansion speed boost that came out on the latest update as well to make that even produce even quicker. But I think you have to choose another business before you can choose it like once again. So you can only do it like every other time, not like stick to the same business each time, unfortunately, with the mansion speed boost, if I remember right from what I've heard. I haven't bothered with it yet, but that's what I've heard about it at least. So that's a couple things in the latest update that helps quite a bit. I think you can make like $1 million-ish or something up to on like a weed or something. Not as much as the counterfeit cash. Counterfeit cash I think is a bit more. But yeah, weed is, it would pay out quite good if you do it correctly though, if I remember. If I recall, weed can pay pretty good. If say you have to smoke on the water business, kind of to complement it. Of course. Yeah, if you play Cheaton on, you can get the Black LD Organics Tea. I actually got it when I logged in on my first attempt at a stream, but it didn't pop up on this attempt since obviously again I tried streaming earlier and it just didn't go well, unfortunately. And yeah, there was the outfit for the propaganda email thing from earlier on the menu. It was on the what's new section of the menu, like my first attempt, but it wasn't there anymore since it got later into the event. But yeah, weekly challenge. Complete 5 waves in that new stoner survival. And that gets you the Sasquatch outfit as well as the $420,000 for an increased amount for the weekly challenge for the week 1 of the 2 for 20 events. Yeah, Sasquatch outfit is not a new outfit. It was actually previously given out in one of the Halloween events, if I remember right. Like, on Halloween Day, I think you have to log in on Halloween Day, like 1 or 2 years or something for the outfit before. So not a lot of people might have it if they haven't played on Halloween Day or something one particular year. So it's another chance to get it at least.
Why can't we hang out tomorrow? I took the day off already, but it's cool.
Yeah, $420,000, the usual payout is 100K, so that's a little over 4 times on the payout. Obviously it's for 20,000, go for 20 obviously, so it is a little over like 4 times the amount. What would it be, like 4.2 times or something on the amount, technically speaking, I want to say, on the Wicked Challenge. If you want to give it like an exact amount per se. So that's all the money opportunity stuff that looks like going on for the first, like, of the 2 weeks, obviously. And also, it is worth mentioning, by the way, that the hunting pack for hunting. The hunting pack. Stupid tongue twister. What the fuck, man? Come on, man. Fuck. But yes, though. It is worth mentioning the hunting pack Get Lamar 4th map. It's actually a new map, by the way, that was not previously available. The other first 3 maps were previously available, though, on the other hand, though. Oh yeah, there might have been peyote plant like pop up by the way on the like game earlier. Yeah, peyote plants are back for the event, maybe for both weeks I'm guessing as well, not just the first 2 weeks. I could be wrong. It was only the first week or something. But yeah, peyote plants are really insanely good for RP, I believe, for ranking up your character for the like RP for the character. So if you are early on in RP, peyote plants actually might be a very good way to rank up your character. Otherwise, peyote plants are really just a thing of fun, and it's not really a money maker. Obviously, you don't really make money from peyote plants. Just get RP and just get to mess around with like an animal hallucination for until you like die with it or deactivate it yourself or something. I'll see something. Also, by the way, Hunting Back at Lamar is actually the featured series going on right now. Looks like as well. Worth bringing up, actually. Wait, what is the hell? Isn't there usually like another icon at Legion Square that's supposed to be a featured series right now? It's just the Community Combat series where maybe they deactivated before the end of the event. I'm not 100%. We had a current, like, first week didn't end yet. Maybe the featured series aspect of it did for some reason already. Not 100%. Not 100% though. I think there's a Rockstar icon for featured series, but it's not there. Unless there's like a very particular spawn for that or something that's not around. Oh, it's over here actually. That's not like a... Yeah, 48 players. Kind of in the grocery area, so I guess it kind of makes sense for that particular mode. That's more of an alley, I guess. Yes. Not far from Gerald's, yeah, it's basically grocery territory anyways. Or something or something. Also, it looks to be the featured series for 2 weeks as well. So that one is the featured series for both weeks, I believe.
No, I asked you if that was Brad. No, sir. I didn't tell Brad either. Well, I must say, I don't know either, sir.
Also, the Black Gold E-Organic XT, you can actually log in for both weeks for that. It's not just limited to the first week, apparently. And it popped up on my games. I assume it's a new clothing item, and it wasn't like one previously available. So I think that one is a new clothing item. Versus, of course, the Sasquatch outfit that I mentioned was not actually a new outfit. Just an easier way to get it than the initial release of it, or whatever, of course, so. We had a first week also has a wheat farm business discount for upgrades and modifications as well. Looks like as well, yes, for 40% off. See the actual wheat farms as well as their upgrades, modifications, like the staff equipment, security, whatever. I think all those are also 40% off. Now that discount, I think it's only on the Open Road website, so I'm not gonna go to like the biker clubhouse to show it. Just know those are 40% off on the weed business stuff. Of course though. So that's reminders from Bikers Update. I'm talking about the bottom wheat farm there. Yes, talking about the bottom, like, of those 5 there for the wheat farm. That's 40% off stuff right now. Yeah, staff equipment boosts some money making as well as like the speed that the stuff produces with staff equipment. Yes. Those boost the like money and like the speed that the business produces at, which makes those absolutely worth going for. Security, on the other hand. Security, on the other hand, until the latest update, I didn't really see it being the most worth it, honestly. Like, I would still get business rates for like all my biker businesses, I think, regardless, until the latest update. The latest update has changed it where if you have the mansion security as well as the business security, I believe the businesses basically don't get rated at all, like 100% of the time. Which is a very nice change with the latest update. So if you have both of this dedicated like business security upgrade as well as a mansion security upgrade, you basically don't get a business rate at all for said business. So the security upgrade's a whole lot more worth it in the latest Safehouse and Hills DLC now. So now if I should say all 3 of the upgrades are very much going to be worth your time getting. Especially DMC businesses have found those get especially rated easily before the latest update, and not anymore. The latest update, of course. Okay, though. So apparently for another discount, the Green Space Horror Suit will apparently be 50% off for the week. Now, I'm guessing that's for the first week of the newswire being published, so basically right now. Green Tire Smoke also supposed to be half off again for the one particular, like, more particular 420 event for the first week of the publishing of the Rockstar Newswire, I'm guessing again. And then there is a vehicle discount for 2 weeks, but I'll probably go over that later. Figure out later though. And by the way, the combat series will turn into a race series, by the way, for next week. Just FYI, by the way. FYI, by the way. And wow, did they actually do 2 combat series in a row, actually. They usually do the 2 race series in a row, not usually for combat, so that's interesting. Interesting. Alright, so I think it's pretty much discounts at this point to talk about at this point, so that's for, say, the money stuff, obviously, with the, like, I mean more particular, the FIB priority file and, like, the salvage yard stuff, I think, more so still at this point. Obviously, other stuff I ever talked about. Alright, so I'm still going, okay, good. So going back to CEO here, once more. So right now, apparently the black box file is the priority file. If you only do priority file, it's not a very good one, unfortunately. If yes, you only do the priority file, that's the one you can only do one time for an event, for 2 times, and it's not the greatest one. Better have a priority file in Fine Art or Project Breakaway if you only do like the one that's separate on priority file for a particular event. If say it's your main money grind and at least opens up Fine Art and Project Breakaway, having it on the black box file instead though. So for most players, probably not beneficial to have on black box versus the Fine Art file or Project Breakaway file, is basically what I'm saying. But you can do this one time for the whole 7-day event for $310,000. No English, Dave. Don't want your ass. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. And yeah, then after that, salvage yard discounts. And I think that's basically it. Sides for Stoner Survival. They just sub the control. If I have time, I'll see the subsequent event stuff that they revealed already. But that's obviously the least priorities. We'll just talk about that in next week's stream or something. So I'm using pretty sure a claimable, of course. It would have probably mentioned something on Newswire if it was a claimable one. But I was finding it ironic because after Sanders and Mercenaries started letting do the CO thing for the computer thing, but you have to do it manually for the update that came like after the fact. I don't know if it varies on property like throughout the different updates and stuff anyways, but it's still interesting to note. Alright, so just think of Kanjo SJ, Abadonger ASP, and the Pegasi Ignis. Oh yeah, so I have to go on GTA Series videos can be posted, I guess, to get the information for those, obviously, since I don't usually do on Rockstar News Press themselves, same like with the party file, for example. So, apparently for the low range vehicle, whatever, like the, what do I call it? No, I call it a standard range, I think, actually, so yeah. Standard range vehicle this time around is, I think, a Kansas J. Tuner subclass vehicle from like Chrono Enterprise DLC back in like summer 2022 or whatever. Again, standard range vehicle. And it's for the cargo ship robbery. And that one has $263,000 for the max sale value, with a salvage value turns $10,400. Finally, after that is actually another tuner subclass vehicle, ironically, for the mid-range vehicle, the Papadummer ASP. Count the Los Dos Santos tuners DLC. This one is actually Coupe HSW. No. This one's actually Coupe tuner vehicle. Not HSW, but yeah, tuner. And this one's one of them, like, two, like, muscle car tuner vehicles, interestingly. So yeah, again, yes, a mid-range vehicle for the event. This one's apparently for the McTony robbery, which was that one in the Paleto Bay, bumfuck Paleto Bay. All the way up north of the map, basically. And for the mid-range one, it has a max sell value of $145,000, as well as salvage value of exactly $276,000. Oh yeah, it's worth mentioning, I don't know what the vanity plates are, but it doesn't really matter since they're not claimable anyways. Finally, last but not least, is Pegasi Ignis. Top range vehicle for the event. Supercar that was in the contract DLC initially. And then there's that weaponized one that came out exclusively on newer platforms for the HSW variant. And even regular variants also mentioned exclusive. For the newer platforms in particular, I mean, more so. But yeah, one's for the podium robbery, obviously the casino one. Max sell value for 91,000. Max sell value, yes, for 91,000. And salvage value for $12,800. Cool. So that concludes the lineup this time around. For the first week. One of the rare things I might go over for the No Way Out stream if I don't do a proper event stream, of course, for next week. I don't see myself doing that, given they even go over the discounts for the second week on the week 1 newswire, which they pretty much never do. So I'll probably use that as an excuse not to do a second event stream for once for GTA. Have a more chill week for once. Besides for when they do like longer events or something, like right next to like a new DLC that comes out or something, per se, just say though. So I think it's funny discount stuff to go over here, basically for any remaining discounts remaining at this point. So apparently there's half off of drinks at nightclub bars, the domicino, and the music lockers, whatever. And that's kind of a mid discount, honestly. And that's half off, yeah. Alongside the green space force you have mentioned, the entire smoke. Those might only be for the first week, of course, of the 2-week event. Kinda. Again, as a reminder, there's also 40% off of the meat farms, including the upgrades to staff equipment security. As of this update, even the security is pretty worth it, since business security and the mansion security makes a particular business not able to be rated. If you have the general mansion security and then the business security for whatever business want not to get rated, they kind of stack, basically. Okay, and I think there's only like a couple sections of discounts off the cover, which is 30% vehicle discounts and then gun ban discounts still. The stream's still going on, so cool. So I'll go over vehicle discounts. I don't necessarily overly care to go over the gun van discounts right now, per se. So with the 2,000 good spoils, $2,511,220. Okay, cool. So it doesn't look like any are on the arena website like there usually isn't. I don't think any are on Vinny's this time either, which again there usually isn't for that site. There is actually one latest discount, looks like this time. And it looks to be the Nagasaki Ultralight for the Plains class, or yes, the Plains class. Now this one's on weaponized vehicles that might not tack too much for performance. Performance is not really that good for this vehicle anyways, just FYI if I don't. So if there's one section I'm not going to go as much in detail in due to the fact there's 2 weeks worth of stuff kind of, even for discounts this time around versus like, even the last couple kind of 2 like 3-week things recently. I won't be as detailed on the vehicle, like won't say like the price comparisons, for example, probably, and I'll just talk about the vehicle stuff, like itself or something. So unsurprisingly, it does not have a lock-on jammer, so that's just stealth features the certain propeller you can add onto. And weaponized aircrafts in this latest update, first update you can add the lock-on jammers to aircrafts. Those are pretty much exempt as long as you add like a weapon to it, basically, this time around. So not surprising there's not a lock-on jammer in this vehicle. But yeah, the vehicle does require a hanger to purchase. It's not Pegasus. It has a unique weapon with the gimbal turret, which I don't think any other I don't think any other vehicle in the game has the gimbal turret weapon in the game. But it has a lot of degree of rotation stuff, if I remember right, at least for like the front half of the vehicle. Can't really shoot in the back half if I recall right though. So the weapon doesn't have the greatest coverage since it's kind of into the front half of the vehicle, if I recall right. For where it could even shoot. Versus say something like the weaponized Tampa, where that gun is pretty known to have 360 rotation and stuff. It just can't shoot like below the vehicle, I think is the one exception there. It's not the craziest weapon for the degrees it can fire like bullets at, basically. It's also on an aircraft, so unless you're like really close to your target, you're not like going to be hitting your target most times, even. So it's a unique weapon, but it's not that useful for weapons. It's on an aircraft, and you have to be kind of close to your targets if you're going to hit them most times. This particular vehicle, in fact, I actually did a vehicle review guide on this vehicle, going more in detail on this vehicle in particular. When I think they made it for free for like a certain particular week, I think I did a review guide during that week, if I remember correctly. If yes, I do recall correctly. And again, like I mentioned, there is a stealth propeller you can add on this thing, where if you go a low speed, you can actually be stealth on the map. It was actually the first stealth aircraft in the game, even before it even predated the Akula and like the other stealth. Oh, and even F-160 Raiju for like an actual plane, not a helicopter. So all the couple that came out after that were stealth actually have like a toggleable stealth, which is kind of much better, I would say. Whereas the stealth you have to be like at low speeds, which isn't really too ideal. Albeit this one you can at least fire a weapon when you're stealth. That's the upside to that, I guess. But again, it's not that crazy of a weapon anyways to necessarily make the stealth funness better. The other stealth features on other aircrafts, like the F-160 Raiju especially is the best for a stealth aircraft in the game. But you can use this pretty effectively for, say, like sightseer VIP work. I find it's pretty fun for. And obviously, a headhunter can definitely do some headhunter, especially with the vehicle targets. Like, sides for those things, I honestly find it to be the greatest for money making. Then again, you can also do air hanger stuff probably pretty effectively with the ultralight, obviously, even though there's definitely better aircrafts to do any like air hanger stuff for anyways. But it's really cheap. Not gonna go into prices again, that's the one part we'll cut, obviously with 2 weeks of discounts I can talk about, technically speaking. Legendary Motorsport up next. Definitely would be a vehicle on this website, surely. Surely. There usually is, so I'm just assuming there is one. Nightshade looks to be on a discount. I think that's the first one I found on this website for sure. Survivor Criminals. That's kind of starter vehicles being on exclusive for discounts, I believe. So yeah, it's definitely on exclusive. Like pretty much starting with like late 2015, I think. It was pretty much all the vehicles at that point were starting on exclusives. No lock-on jammer in this one, so I guess it was never really a bolted vehicle, it looks like then, in that case. Again, not going to do price comparison, that's like the one part we'll cut since there's 2 weeks of discounts. That can technically cover, even if I don't necessarily get to it as far as I know, I don't know though. Alright, so going on roughly 132's vehicle spreadsheet. It is in the muscle car class, if I haven't said by the way. As you would probably expect. But apparently it's good enough for H tier, which isn't really that crazy good, surely. Which is a 56th place for lap time. There's only like, what, 5 HSWs? It's definitely not good for lap time. As well as 68th place top speed, so it's actually worse for top speed. And there is actually like 80-ish muscle cars in the game at this point. So literally regardless of the platform, it's just not going to really be a good one for lap time or top speed. This is more of a customization, personal preference kind of vehicle to get here, really. So not one I would recommend, really. It is only like a few $100,000 though, so it's not that bad if you do want to get it though. For the pricing of it though. And yeah, if I didn't say, by the way, all vehicle discounts are 30% off for the event. Well, aside for one, I think at least. That's for 2 weeks. That's even active right now. Whereas I think all the 30% are just for the one particular week I'm covering right now. But the Baller STD is up next for vehicle discounts. Going to 4-door for Legend Motorsport. Definitely easily the most expensive one so far. Again, not going too much into price, but just saying. This time around, since there's 72 weeks of discounts we can cover this time. So this vehicle actually has some money tech features, which gives it some most, which yes can give it some of the most useful features in the game. This one honestly is kind of pathetic though for money tech, given like ballers are known to have armor. There are quite some armored ballers in the game, and this one doesn't have armor. It looks like according to the description, it's not really that good. I'm guessing if it doesn't have armor, it probably doesn't force the class either, but it might actually. I'm not 100% on that. I'm highly doubting it though. But actually, it's a bare minimum of a mine tech, at least before they start doing ones with just the missile lock-on jammer. But those aren't even like technically mine tech vehicles, since they were just like older vehicles that got brought back from vehicle websites with lock-on jammers. In most cases, at least. Well, it's half of the cases, at least. At least in the last couple updates, at least. It has not only the lock-on jammer, but it also does have the option for the remote control unit. It does have kind of an electric-y kind of look. If it is electric, then it could be worth it for the missile lock-on. No. If it is electric, it could be worth it for the remote control unit, I mean. Whereas, yeah, missile lock-on jammers obviously would be good on like a lot of vehicles in this whole game. But yeah, it's an SCV, so you're probably just better off with the lock-on jammer, like a lot of vehicles have in this game. Since, of course, last couple updates, you don't really even get the remote control unit anymore in the last couple updates. But yeah. It seemed to be quite literally. You only see a Montec features going off the description. I don't even think it does have armor plate, I remember. I swear to. So probably doesn't have silk mines either then. Again, probably doesn't have boards in class, I'm guessing. I'm guessing. It definitely does not have the front machine guns, so it's only in the initial like contract DLC batch. I know it definitely doesn't have that either. So it does have money tech, which is a little more useful than your average vehicle, so like kinda could skip performance on this one, but like still there's a lock jammer remote control unit, still very much a civilian vehicle compared to even say like the ultralight, so I would definitely go for performance on this one even compared to like the ultralight per se though. Yeah, this one's definitely an SUV's class. It is apparently S tier SUV as well, so it's actually pretty good as well, even for performance. And that gives it a 6th place for lap time as well as a 12th place top speed. I guarantee without HSW it is definitely like a single digit as well for the top speed. So if HSW is disabled and we're using for newer platforms, you can definitely get something out of the single digit top speed it can have technically. Regardless on the legacy platforms, they will always have that like single digit top speed, at least currently anyways. Unless like more SUVs come out in like a final update for the game. Assuming 6 actually does come out November 19th, 2026. Yeah. So it's pretty good performing. It is definitely a pretty good performing vehicle, so definitely a good SUV there. There's even the regular Baller ST from the contract DLC compared to the SUV from Chop Shop. This one does not have a Monitech though. Also no lock-on chamber for this. So yeah, you will always be able to get locked onto this vehicle. It's a much cheaper one than this as well here. It was actually also a free vehicle, actually worth mentioning as well. Similar to the Ultra, I think I mentioned it was free at one point. This one was also free at one point in the game. Back in like Festival Surprise 2021, I think. So when contract came out like shortly after whatever Baller ST was a free vehicle at one point. So it won't be as worth it as free, obviously, but it's not that expensive anyways if you did want to get it. We had a regular Baller ST. Nowadays, it's actually in the middle of the B tier for the SUVs class. Which is 14th place lap time as well as 17th place top speed. Alright, and PFAS or neons from the last one on this 4-door section. Yeah, very much seems to be the case for the last one. 4 doors here, or Legend Motorsport at least. Came out in Doomsday Heist DLC back in like late 2017 or something. Around there. Maybe 2018 if it's from Trip Beat, I forget. No lock-on chamber in this one. There's very much no lock-on chamber in this vehicle. It would be a good one for a lock-on chamber though, since it's electric though. Yeah, it's electric, so lap time could be good on this one. It is electric, and lap time doesn't really suffer for electric. It's more the top speed that suffers on electric vehicles, which again is not as important of a metric per se. Sports car on this one for sure. So it is in the most popular class of like 117 vehicles in the game at this point. Alright, so it is a E tier, it looks like, for the sports class, according to 152's vehicle spreadsheet. 41st place for lap time, apparently, as well as 94th place top speed. So yeah, top speed's pretty horrendous on this vehicle, like I expected, being electric. Lap time, excluding HSW, is actually good enough for the 30s, which isn't the worst. But it's also nowhere near the best either. So this one's more for the acceleration, of course, for like your average electric vehicle. Acceleration's pretty good for getting out gunfights here, so pretty good in free mode if you want to use some acceleration for like an electric vehicle or something. I don't really think it's that much for a race vehicle though. I don't think acceleration's that huge in races per se though. Versus lap time or top speed though on average. Given acceleration, it's not really a stat. The spreadsheet, of course, scores. From what I understand, of course, scores. But yeah, Hot Dog Drags actually never went on a 30% off discount for this one particular event, for the actual 420 event that takes place in April 20th for those certain dates that aren't the 20th. This one does have Mr. Lock-on Jammer available. At some point it got the Lock-on Jammer. I don't think it had it at launch, of course, but I think it eventually got it, honestly. Its technical vehicle was 2016, so definitely had it at launch. I meant more the HSW version, like, case to be fair, but I think even the HSW one didn't have it on cheaper, I'm pretty sure. Probably only like the last couple updates, I'm guessing, like in South Towers, one front tour, Safehouse annuals. It's like only in like the last year or so. And yeah, has HSW upgrade available at Dallas Carmi, Funwood Club Garage or Mansion Vehicle Workshop. The last two do require a plus subscription to get those modifications at those properties, though. Dallas Carmi, on the other hand, I think is the only free option for the HSW upgrade, I'm pretty sure. That does not require a $8 a month subscription. But yeah, I'll go over the regular and HSW performance on this vehicle, because I know like honestly people are going to wonder what the HSW performance is, even if the HSW Directly is not on a discount. So it's a very good vehicle, whether it's HSW or not. You do get a third place for the non-HSW lap time, as well as a 9th place for top speed, actually. Versus the HSW version, which is first place apparently, as well as 2nd place for a lap time top speed. Again, the Western Reaver is actually the one that actually does beat it for top speed, and that's actually the podium vehicle right now, interestingly. For probably like another couple hours at this point, is when I'm recording this. So it's single digit performance, whether it's the HSW version or not, which is absolutely insane, both metrics. And yeah, motorcycles doesn't have a better tier, just want to go over that. And you can have a lock-on jammer on this as well. Again, like I said earlier for the Reaver, lock-on jammer on a motorcycle is insane, given the motorcycle is already a smaller target, and usually a pretty agile target, especially if it's a sports bike as well. Especially with a HSW drag, it's going to be very difficult probably to hit it with the lock-on jammer on it. And none of the special ones with the wheelers are on discount. Does Warstock have a discount maybe? And it might not actually. Might not actually. Yeah, I don't think it has a discount for Warstock this time. Didn't seem to be the case. So it looks like Doxy is actually up next. Yes, there is actually a boat discount this time. I'm not joking. It's Tug, apparently, on a boat discount this time. From the Finance Felony DLC, which I believe was probably the first boat that was actually on exclusive, not counting one from the Heist update, of course. Well, this one's not technically Heist update, I think it's technically day 1 vehicle, but it's just put online, purchasable with Heist update, I think. Yeah, won a couple online exclusive boats once in the game. At least on the Doxy's website, I noticed attack boats as well, technically on Warstock. So I guess that makes it more like a few, but still though. So yeah, one of the many 30% vehicles. Yeah, it's a Pegasus vehicle. Apparently, it's not a garage vehicle. There's no like marina property or anything for boats in this game for online. There is obviously for story mode, just not online. Just not online. It's not weaponized, so I guess I'll technically go over performance on this one, even though it's kind of a complete meme of the vehicle. Like motorcycles, with boat counts as like an extra class vehicle, so no letter tier for that reason. We have all 19 boats in the game. It is 19th place lap time, so it's 18th place top speed, so it's actually the worst lap time, second worst top speed of the class of boats. It only beats the Kraken and Visa for top speed, apparently. Apparently, and not even by much, apparently, even. AKA the mini sub thing that you have access to in this, AKA yeah, the mini sub you have access to in the Kasaka. And of course, midnight now, because this stupid body for some current keeps hella fucking ass suffering now. There's definitely no cycles on discount, definitely not, since those are obviously really crazy cheap. That will literally be a mean discount, not that you haven't done it before, obviously, but still though. I feel like there's only 2 7 discounts outside for this current event, so you didn't even finish off the vehicle discounts. Well, actually free if you include the 50% off the vehicle as well, actually, technically, so I'm kind of wrong, it's actually free, not 2. Yeah. So the first of the 2 to free discounts, 2, I think that's only for the first of the 2 420 events, is a classic Walton 035, 035, 035. I think this is the Andress Mercenaries as well, right? I think so. At latest it came on Bound Over Bounty since it doesn't lock on jammer on it, and it's a newer vehicle as well even. Yeah, this one's apparently for the off-road class, so out of extra classes, finding over to lap times, top speeds, and race tiers. Alright, so apparently Watson 035 is an F tier off-road vehicle, and I just did 19th place apparently for lap time, and 20th place for top speed, and that's how 48 raceable options I believe for off-road as well. 2 HSW vehicles, I think makes that best 17th and 18th as well for lap time top speed. So it is technically above average for the class, I think, for both lap time and top speed. Yeah, it's still not really that crazy. Not really that crazy. Also, the original Walton's a 3D inverse vehicle back from like GT San Andreas and stuff, so it is a little retro nostalgic, but not exactly as well at the same time, you know, like more unique. GT Online exclusive model as well. I know it's a Vapid character 4x4, and it's the last one that's particular for the like one first of 2 for 20 events. Kind of basically, it's basically. And this one eventually got the lock-on jammer in like one of the last couple of updates or something like Agent Sabotage, Money Run, sort of Safehouse and Hills, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was ever vaulted. I think some vehicles that weren't vaulted did also eventually get lock-on jammers in a couple of updates as well, though, if I remember correctly, though. But it's also an off-road class vehicle, actually, as well, just like the Walton 5, 35, though. This one's also actually right below the Walton 35, though, even in F tier, being the 4th F tier vehicle of like 6 or something, even. Fun fact, even. Oh. So it is one placement worse than in that case, and so it's 20th place instead of 19th place with the previous one for pro lap time. And it's even 25th place for top speed. So it technically is below average for top speed if you're on like newer platforms at least. I think with a lack of 2 HSW ones, I think there'd be 46 where it's going to be like 23rd, so it'd just barely be above average, I think, the top speed in that case at least. That case at least. So it's a little tad worse than Walton 35 or 35, technically speaking. But not really that much, unless it's top speed. It's kind of B placements, but only single placement per lap time is not bad, actually, comparison-wise. I think I'd say, if you're getting any of those two, just get the Walton 35 or 35, though. But if you want lock-on jammer in particular, just actually better to there, because this one actually has the Walton 35 or 35 did not get lock-on jammer. Which I would personally want to collect ones for a lock-on jammer, so in that sense, yeah, careful. Tom Sport does one there at least. And yeah, this is actually a half-off discount, and it's for 2 weeks as well for this particular vehicle for the Festival Bus. So every single variant of Festival Bus is on discount. For those that don't know, every single variant is a separate purchase, I think, for the same price. So if you want to collect every single Festival Bus in the game, they are all going to be like the 700k price around there instead of like the almost $1.4 million price. I'm not going to more specifics on those prices. Save that a little bit of time. It's also not a garage vehicle, and I don't know if I said, but there's no storage limit on Pegasus. You can actually buy all the Pegasus vehicles in the game. There's no storage limit on Pegasus. So yes, you can own all these at the same time like I do here. Which yes, I probably cost you like around like $7 million or something right now, instead of like say like 14 million. I forget, I might have bought a lot of these off of, like, no discount even. I forget, yeah. It's a pretty fun thing to own all the Festival Buses just for the memes, I guess so. It's a service vehicle, it's not going to be that impactful as a service vehicle though. Yeah, service is not a raceable class, I believe, so there's no letter tier for those. But it's 14th place for lap time and 14th place top speed, and there doesn't be 14 service vehicles, which makes it the worst of its class in every metric, pretty much, for performance, though. It's really just a meme-worthy Pegasus vehicle. You can get like 10 different versions of even. Even counts as a luxury class vehicle, interestingly. And yeah, that was it for discounts for the first week. If I have time later, I'll go over to the second week's discounts that Rockstar himself actually provided, since if it was just from GT Series and I did it at the later stream, it don't really count. Is worth covering for the stream, obviously, in that case. It's like the one time they actually give discounts a week in advance themselves, even. So I'm probably going to do the Stoner Survival first if I can. I don't actually think it's the time for it, unless... I think you get to like 2030, or no, 2020, I think, actually. So I think it's available for like 6 hours in the game, I think. Yeah, I think the icon was, what, like here, so I don't seem to see it. It's just HSW time trial. Yeah, still gun van discounts. I could try to cover both later. I haven't found the gun van, so I'll probably just go for the like actual gun van discounts, not the whole inventory. If I don't find the gun van. Also hit. Those are fine. They're able to be done pretty quick if you want. Just don't overly care to do that. It's just using like a weapon of choice and like killing a target. Don't overly care to do it. They're not that overly fun or anything. Do again. Quit. Nice way to get some quick, good payout as well. Especially if you're doing it every day, it does add up over time. And right up to Pegasus spawn, so I don't have to get rid of it. My bad. From the mansion. For the mansion latest. For yes, the mansion latest. So I have to wait for the right time, I believe, right now. So I might as well do the HSW time trial right now, I think. I think.
You calling for some wheels? I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up. It's coming at you.
Are we at the angle I'm doing this whole play? Can I like actually do this well here? Or what's my because they're moving over even. Pretty much done with the huge meat of the stream for the most part. At least for now anyways, until I get through like the subsequent week. Which I'll try and do after the Stoner Survival, or if I get this done before the Stoner Survival shows up, I'll try to do some of it then after the gun ban content. Jeez. I hope its time of day was better right now, but it's not, unfortunately. Yeah, people just stall 2 minutes 53 second part time. Okay, cool. That might be better. Oh yeah, that was actually not bad aside for overdoing it. Damn, I didn't expect to actually make it on that one. That's why I did it as hard as I did. And the ankle. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? God, this ankle, man, I'm used to that shit. Not in game, of course, not like in real shit. Go. I don't know if this will happen, but again, I wasn't expecting to actually make the jump as good as I did, but I did overshoot it, of course. So I might not be able to do this run, unfortunately. I have to redo it, unfortunately. Shit, man. Yes, fuck this body for some carrying something. Your fault, I'm having to be over here, man. Struggling because of that. Struggling because of that shit, man. Went the right way, right? Pretty sure I did. Yeah, I definitely did. It's not as 100% sure on it. I'm in a different spot in my room right now. Compared to like a bunch of my streams before this. Yeah, this fucking ass body versus stomach hernia always goes off uncontrollably all the fucking time. So like anymore. Fucking go. Come on. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, this is definitely not gonna go anywhere. Oh my god. I am not used to being over here when I did this shit. I mean, like, incorrect depth perception, all that shit, or whatever the fuck. Yeah, what the hell, man? Would just help. I think it would help at all. I didn't have daytime right now, but I just don't. Got one too many crashes in that shit, of course. Stupid ass body for some areas of your fucking fault, man. Like everything else fucking is at this point. Fucking useless ass body and fucking needs more, bro. apologies for that shit. I'm in a different spot in my room and therefore my stuff, of course. Go figure. So just me, or have I actually learned a good sweet spot in this spot? Ironically, my room is easier to like when I put it like in more center of my room. I actually seem to be like hitting a very good spot. Interesting. I don't think I'm purposely slowing down like my acceleration. Obviously the gas pedal or whatever the fuck I should call it even look like R2, I mean more so. Dude, are you fucking kidding me? How? Like, let's not fucking crash right now, please. Come on. As long as I don't crash anywhere near as much, I would hope it can at least be passed, at least, I would think. Oh, for fucking goddamn fucking asleep, man. Alright, good. Again, as long as I don't make anywhere near as bad crashes, like a bunch of them like last time, should be good, I would think. Only had like one huge mistake, I would say so far. Not actually expected to actually be able to hit it well and everything, so I need like the speed to go that time. Which makes a huge difference. Positive difference, that is. Oh my god, and I say that and sure that's gonna happen. Okay. Still not out of it though. Sure not. Not entirely bright yet, so not doing too shy. That's kind of getting there at this point. At least good. So that's our fact I have to wait on this stone swallow. If I didn't have one mistake, I probably would have actually used the red on the timer too, actually, even. But I did have that one kind of mistake. Again, I'm in a different spot in my room now, so I'm not entirely surprised I made one mistake there. One mistake there, though. Alright, so 250-ish K I got there. Got me $2,756,195 as CC. CC, fella. Our stream's still working, okay, good. Okay, so yeah, the gun van lineup, I should go over at least the discounts of the gun van currently. I don't really care if I don't get to go over the whole inventory, not the biggest deal. I've skimped on that before, I'm pretty sure, in previous events, and yes, previous events, I mean. Not subsequent, but yeah, not subsequent, very much been previous, like opposite shit. Some repeat ones, it looks like the free baseball bat, I believe. Yeah, free baseball bat has went on for a while, I'm for sure. At this point, a melee weapon you can use for biker melee. It has finishes on it as well. Only one free option on newer platforms. Fatal Incursion, whatever, for Drug Wars Tier 1. Yes, whatever they all call it, but yeah, I think they call it Fatal Incursion. Unless I'm misremembering, but whatever, I don't really care. I don't really care. The on legacy platforms, you just have the aluminum finish. You cannot change on the legacy platforms, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, for non-plus, you only get the Fatal Incursion one, whatever. You would have had to get $8 a month. $6 to $8 a month, depending on like, the time, or like getting a subscription for some of the finishes in the past. Might even have been a recent one in the current one as well. I forget. But it's mostly a biker melee weapon for where you would actually probably use it, at least if anything. If anything. Even that's pretty unlikely to be honest. To be honest though. Looks like the railgun's on a 30% discount for the general event. Did I even use auto ammo, or did it just glitch on my character for some reason? I don't feel I used auto ammo, but okay. Okay. When I last got in the game, I didn't, like, wasn't, like, out of, like, that police vehicle, it seemed, on this time around. Oh, what am I doing, actually, do this to you? I was about to buy 10k in ammo versus, like, 1k. Like, nah, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. $1,000 ammo box, give me all my ammo back. I don't even recall using all that shit in the first place. But that's the best thing about the GTL 9 or addition to Railgun, you can just buy all that ammo for $1,000. Order 0 to 20 right away. I think it has to do with the fact that, like, ammo was stuck in the game, I guess, since 2014 with, like, story mode. And somehow that translated to online with the ammo box coding or something. And it just never patched it out with the release of Railgun, even, like, updates after the Drug Wars update with the Railgun actually being an ownable weapon for the players now. In the last few years of the game. That makes the explosive ammo really cheap on this weapon. Even with all the drawbacks for online, that one perk, like Pro, the online version of the weapon, just makes it insanely powerful. To where even with no lock-on, it's still insanely good. Even with the no lock-on versus single player having the lock-on. So it's a very good weapon, and that's like the one thing that makes it super good. The ammo is actually super convenient to get a hold of versus the explosive sniper. And even out damage to it as well, as long as you can hit your target, which is, yeah, harder than the explosive sniper to do, technically. Explosive sniper, I think, is hit scan, that one you have to, like, lead your shots, which can be difficult to do, at longer ranges especially. And also kind of phases through glass as well on the railgun, so especially on vehicles with a lot of glass for like helicopter stuff, it tends to kind of phase through the vehicle, unfortunately. But yeah, super good weapon, super good weapon. And it's 30% off for the event for the first week of the 420 event of those 2 weeks. Also free for Plus, they've been doing this for a while, I think, for the stun gun. It is once again. Very good for $5 bounties, for the bounty contents, for ad business and all that kind of stuff. As suggested by the stun gun finish in tier 2. It wouldn't be a finish for it if it wasn't like, that useful for it. Surely not, surely not. And yeah, stun gun was a huge part of completing 10 waves survival mode solo, as well as the reached wave 16 bonus waves, which yes, I also did that solo as well, fun fact. Using nuclear silo survival map, it makes it really easy to do it with that. And combination with the assault shotgun, like a very good assault rifle. In addition to the stun gun, those free weapons pretty much will be very good. At the time I did Service Carbine, but L Striker works very good as well. If you're on newer platforms. And yeah, doing the same strat where you go in like a hallway area where enemies have to come to you. But yeah, I did 16 waves in like 6-8 hours if I recall right. Just being in like a hallway in nuclear silo survival, just waiting for enemies to come to me constantly.